Welcome to Care 204 Starting an Orphanage. My name is Kenneth Acha. I'm going to be a professor for this course. In this introductory video, we're going to go through a few things that we're going to be discussing in this course. Basically, we're going to look at how this course is going to be presented. So the first thing that we're going to go over is why me? Why have me as your instructor, holding your hand, introducing you to the world of orphan care, the wonderful world of orphan care. Then we'll talk about who is this class for? What does it cover? We'll look at what does it introduce? What does it not teach? As important as it is to cover what the course does teach, it's important to bring up here what it does not teach. What are other names for this class? And we're going to look at how is it delivered and what is the recommended background. Let's get right into it. So why me? I think this is a very important question that need to be answered because you're going to be dedicating a significant amount of time and financial resources to have me guide you through the process of starting your own orphanage or getting introduced to the world of orphan care. So I'm going to take some time now and share with you why I think that I have been prepared by the things that God has put me through to be where He can use me to pour into your life and prepare you for a lifetime of work for Him in orphan care or a season of work for Him in orphan care. The first thing I want to bring up is that I have 10 years of experience in orphan care and management. I started serving orphans full-time in 2005 by founding a nonprofit organization called Shaping Destiny that has been serving orphans in Cameroon, and that organization does orphan care within the orphanage and orphan care that is within the family. So it's orphanage-based orphan care and family-based orphan care. So the first thing is this 10 years of experience that has taught me a lot of things that have formed me into who I am today and given me the tools needed to be able to empower you to do your journey with God. The next thing is that my family and I have really experienced the plight of the orphan firsthand. So my experience is not limited to what I have researched and learned or limited to my vocational experience where I have served orphans, but it's a very personal one. I lived like the orphans that we've served. I grew up with a father who, being a complete orphan from birth, had suffered abuse and bore the scars of rearing himself. After my dad died, when I was only 9 years old, I grew up as an underprivileged child in Cameroon, Africa, without access to basic needs like medical care, education, or adequate nutrition. I basically was bullied at school and called orphan by other children because in that society, if you are fatherless, you are basically treated as though you are an orphan, and having a mother doesn't shield you. If you're fatherless, they see that you have lost an umbrella. You basically become vulnerable. So I was taunted and bullied and called orphan growing up. And this is something that many of the children that we serve have also gone through. So I can see the world from their side. When I talk to people sometimes and I talk about orphans, I say we, because I still see myself, even though I have been in a sense exonerated from the suffering and pain and hopelessness that they still go through right now, I still count myself as one of them. And that informs the way I teach, that informs the passion that I have, that informs my commitment to equipping people like you to serve orphans and do that with excellence. A third thing that I would like to bring up is that I'm the founder and president of an orphan care organization, which I've mentioned briefly already, called Shaping Destiny, that does both family-based care and orphan-based or an orphanage-based care. So I have experience in doing both worlds, because one thing that you would learn as you continue on your journey of orphan care is that orphans belong in the home, in the family, but the orphanage is very, very important. It is so crucial to the overall ability for us to care for children right now, because we live in a world that is broken. Even though we hope that every child will be able to have a father and a mother that loves them, we know that that's not a reality. It's not a reality in the United States. It's not a reality in any country in the world. So the orphanage has a role, and my teaching will introduce students to both, because I have practical experience, and I also have experience at the level of having transformed our organization, transformed our orphanage from an orphanage that was basically running as a permanent institution to one that is very healthy and is supporting the family-based care, so that would really help you to be able to get an idea and understand the best ways to be able to run an orphanage in a way that it doesn't hurt the children, but they're empowered instead. Also, I have started several other nonprofit organizations and for-profit organizations, because a significant part of this class will be me teaching you how to live from your dream to actually launching your own orphan care organization and orphanage. So, because I've done that not one time, that is, I've started multiple nonprofit organizations and business for profit organizations. That experience will come in to empower me to be able to be more effective in my teaching, and has always been one of my passions, because you can have all the knowledge you need to have. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't have that inner engine, that passion that drives you towards doing good, that drives you towards competence and excellence, because something that you have knowledge in really matters, then it's no good for those that you serve. So one of my passions is to equip people like you to be able to serve the poor with great proficiency, and to be able to make disciples of Christ. So that's something that goes to the heart of who I am. It is something I'm passionate about. It's something that is in my blood, if you want to say that. Another thing that I want to bring up that I think has equipped me to be an effective servant of orphans and an effective teacher of those who want to go into orphan care is that I'm a physician. I did my medical school at Texas A&M College of Medicine here in the United States, and have dedicated a lot of my time using my medical knowledge to see how to effectively serve orphans. And one of my goals, and the goal of Austin Bible Institute, is to raise the standard of orphan care worldwide, is that God could use even the small drop that we will contribute here to sort of be part of this movement that is seeking to raise the awareness and raise standards of excellence worldwide for orphans. And that's something that my medical knowledge has really been very crucial in helping me attain. Healthcare. This is something I wanted you to know. Healthcare is a significant part of orphan care. If you understand the health part of orphan care, the health care of orphan care, then you would really have positioned yourself in a very good place to understand the struggle that the orphan goes through. And in many of the courses that I will introduce to you here at Austin Bible Institute, this course will not focus on that, but it's a course at Austin Bible Institute that focuses on equipping you to have a working knowledge of the issues in healthcare that orphans go through. So my healthcare knowledge as a physician has really helped me to be able to have a better understanding, because if you consider it, orphans are often traumatized, most of them. In fact, I would go as far as to saying it's very difficult to see an orphan that is not traumatized. And they are not only traumatized, they are malnourished, and many of them are abused. And that makes them patients that need a lot of care, and care that is best given by people who have some sensitivity. You don't have to be a doctor, okay? You don't even have to be a nurse, but you have to be trained and given some tools so that you have some sensitivity to what is going on and know how to be able to help. And again, I'm going to recommend courses that will help you do that. And another thing to bring up is that I am a researcher and writer. I love research. I do a lot of research in effective methods of orphan care. And my love for research really got started while I was at Rice University in Houston. I was studying biochemistry then, and it has continued all along. And I am very, very, very passionate about research, and really figuring out and seeing what is out there that can empower me and others to be able to care for orphans. And that's one of the reasons why my blog, Orphan Care Movement, was started, so I could be able to share some of the things that I discover, that I find out in my research, with other people. Another thing to consider also is that many people consider me a local expert in orphan care. Underline the word local. I think that's the important one. Why do I say that? Well, because orphan care, a lot of it happens in developing nations, okay? And while it is important to have people from the West, from the United States, Europe, and Australia contribute in terms of knowledge, it takes a local understanding, someone who understands the culture of Africa, of a country in Africa, because African culture, if you travel from one African country to another, it's very similar. It takes an understanding of the culture and an understanding of the people that is very difficult for someone to learn just by moving there in a few years. It takes that to be able to really understand the problem of orphan care and how effective solutions could be developed and applied to solve the problem. So because of my work and because of my understanding of culture, I speak a local tribal language and was born and raised in Africa, as I've shared already, and I understand the culture. And so that gives me a vantage point to be able to teach and equip you in a way that I not only teach you what you need to know, but do that in a way that is sensitive to the culture, as one who hasn't read from a book how to be sensitive to a culture, but who have lived it. Okay? I think that's important and contributes to my ability to be able to deliver the material in this course well, and also to guide you onward in your work. Something that I've experienced is that I have seen in that it really helps me, you know, and present me in a way that many people see me as a local expert, is that I have seen the lasting efforts of abuse, also of orphans, how that took a toll on my dad and on many people that I've worked with within the cultural context, and how that really, how the resources of the culture could be used to remedy this. And yeah, so another thing to bring up, besides being seen as a local expert in within the African context, is specifically Cameroon and West Africa and the tropical area, is that many people also would consider me as a national expert because of my 10 years of work. I've been living in the US since December 2000 and have done a lot of my research from the US base, but also working with my team in Africa. And so I have experience in a way that as a doctor, I have seen many patients. I have friends. I have been through undergraduate training here. I think many times as an American would, as a Westerner would, because of my undergraduate education and my medical school and my interaction with friends and having lived here for 15 years pretty much. So I could understand what a person who is from the West is going through, or the things, some of the struggles that they face, and how to then connect them with the African context where they are likely going to serve, or the context of another developing country. Because if you've traveled developing countries, you could see an amazing degree of similarity between cultures, very different but very similar. So I think that uniquely places me in a place where I could basically connect you to ways that you can effectively serve orphans. And the last thing that I'll bring up is that our school has a branch in Cameroon, in Africa, and our classes are offered online. What that means for you is that you're going to be in class with students from different parts of the world. You're going to be in class with students from Africa, from Europe, from the United States. We have students from India, and you will collaborate and learn in a cross-cultural environment. And some of these people are maybe people that you could get connected with if you are from the United States and work with. Because something that I advise everyone who takes my courses is that I advise every person from the West who wants to go do orphan care work in a developing country to find someone, even if it takes you time, even if it takes years. Pray, seek someone that is like a brother, a friend, so that you could co-start the organization, co-start the effort. I'm not saying you should start it and get it going and then find somebody. No, I'm saying you should do what the Google founders did, that you should do what Facebook founders did. And there is something that is very true, that if you see a company, and research has been done in this area, if you see a company that is succeeding, if you look, you'd see that the people who started that company, there were several people that had different gifts and skills that came together to start that. This is something to remember, write down and remember. If you are from the West and you really want to serve, well, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to learn the culture to a place where you really can understand, speak a tribal language effectively and understand the culture, because language is part of culture, a very important part of culture, but it's not all of culture. So the better thing to do is to collaborate. You from the West will present things that no one in Africa, South America can have. You will have a different set of giftings, and together with a colleague, a brother, a sister in Christ, you could do amazing things together. Don't go solo, okay? Don't start and be the lead person alone. Lead together as equals. That would really, really allow the Holy Spirit, I think, to work within all of you and pull your gifts and really empower you to shine. So we're going to move on from here. Hopefully this has given you an understanding of who I am, my background, and how God may use me to serve you. So who is this class for? This class is for people who feel called to serve orphans in general. Doesn't matter what area of orphan care you are going to, whether you're going to go into a developing country full-time or part-time, or you're going to stay on the state side or in Europe and serve there. It doesn't matter. For people who are called to serve orphans in general. It's also specifically for people who are called to start an orphanage or to start another nonprofit and just do work of charity that blesses people and empowers people. It is for anyone in the church who really cares about the plight of the orphan and want to have an understanding that is deeper than what we normally have. So this class is for a lot of you, and I'm excited that you're taking the course. So what does it cover is the next thing I think we should look at. What does it cover? Well, this class is an introductory class, okay? It is going to open the world of orphan care to you. It's going to introduce you to the world of orphan care. It is designed to be a first step in equipping students who feel called to serve orphans, or who are just interested in orphan care, students who want to start an orphanage or any other orphan care organization. It is meant to equip you. So this course is going to basically challenge you, the student. It's going to challenge you if you want to go start an orphanage, if you want to go serve overseas. It's going to challenge you to examine your motives and confirm your calling, because calling is important. Without being sure of your calling, you'll not be able to withstand the challenges that are going to come. Satan is alive and is happy to attack anyone who tries to do work for God. So this course is going to help you do that. It's going to also teach you how to discover and write down your purpose, mission, your vision statement, and establish your core values. It will help you be able to do those things: purpose, mission, vision, and your core values, so that you can start creating a culture that will sustain your orphan care organization. The course will also teach you how to develop strategies, set initial goals, and write a business plan. It will also teach you how to select an initial board of directors, choose a name for your organization, and incorporate or register your organization with your state, whether you're in the United States, Europe, or in a developing country. Now, we're going to use examples of doing that in the United States, where we live, and we will reference Cameroon in Africa, but this will be applicable in pretty much anywhere that you live. So the two areas we'll be talking about is the US and Cameroon when we talk about these things, because we've actually done both. We've registered a nonprofit in Cameroon and in the United States, but the steps are about the same, and it will require you going through different steps that will sort of lay out and get the work done. Okay. So another thing that this course will do is basically, in summary, the course is going to take you from your dream and then lead you through the things you need to do to get to launching your new nonprofit organization, your orphanage. So the next thing I want us to look at is, what does this course introduce? What does it introduce? Well, in addition to everything that you need as a student to go from your dream to launching your organization, this course will introduce you to recommended courses at Austin Bible Institute that will help you to prepare yourself to actually achieve your goal of running your orphanage or your orphan care organization. What does it not teach? That's important. What does the course not teach? This course doesn't teach you how to run an orphanage or how to run an organization. It is easy for me to teach you how to start it in 8 weeks, but to learn how to run it effectively is going to take 2 years. And Austin Bible Institute has courses that can do that, to equip you to be able to do that, because it involves actually touching at the level of being, equipping you to be the person that is competent. That cannot be done in one course. If you see a course that says they're going to teach you and equip you to, it's like saying they can teach you to be a medical doctor in one course. No. They could teach you how to start a hospital, come up with a vision, dream, from your dream, vision, core values, everything, until you even build a hospital. They could teach you in 8 weeks how to do that. But to train you to be a surgeon that works in the hospital effectively and treats patients well, that takes years. That's just how it works. Okay. Now, so again, this course does not teach you how to run an organization, but we're going to point you to courses at ABI that will do that for you, so that you could not only start, but be the kind of person who's prepared to actually do it. What are other names for this course? This course, depending on the context, is taught at ABA as Introduction to Orphan Care. So this course is going to introduce you to orphan care, but because we are targeting in this specific course a group of people who have a heart for orphans and are going into orphan care, it is the course title is Start an Orphanage. But this course is also taught as Introduction to Orphan Care and also as How to Start a Nonprofit. But when it's taught in those areas, the examples and a lot of the things are different, but the core is the same. So the focus again will depend on the students' interests, and we have selected students for this course who have an interest in orphan care, and the title for this course again is Starting an Orphanage. So how is this course going to be delivered? This course is delivered online. Students don't have to move to Austin, Texas to take it. We've had students move to Austin to take courses, so you don't have to do it. If you'd like to move to Austin, that's something you totally can do, but you don't have to. This online course is divided into 8 modules over an 8-week period. Modules usually would consist of videos, PowerPoint lectures, articles, and assignments that support the material that's covered each week. And finally, what is the recommended background? There's no particular recommended background or required background for this course. Everybody is welcome to take this course because this course is an introductory course, and we have a philosophy here that mirrors the philosophy of Jesus. If you look at how Jesus equipped people to become competent disciple makers and world changers, Jesus would see someone and say, "Come, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." There is no requirement to ask you to come and take the first step, the introduction to how to become an effective orphan care worker. But after this course, if you decide that you would like to take more courses and equip yourself, you'll need to go through an application, and because this is a college level institution, you'll need to have at least a high school diploma and some other things that you can find from the website. But for this course, you can be without a high school diploma. As long as you could read English and understand, then you're welcome. Everybody is welcome. And I'm really, again, excited that you are taking this course. I am going to be praying for you. I believe that the Holy Spirit will use me and the material that has been prepared for this course to really open your eyes to see the world of orphan care, the plight of the orphan, and understand it in a way that is different, but also be empowered and equipped with the tools to make lasting change. Now, in this course, we have talked about why me. We've talked about who is this class for. We've talked about what does it cover. We've talked about what does it introduce. We've talked about what does it not teach. We've talked about what are other names for this course. We've talked about how is it delivered, and we've talked about what is the recommendation, the recommended background for this course. Well, I look forward to seeing you in class. I look forward to interacting with you and really being used of God to bless you. So feel free to contact me with questions. I would have a TA for this course who will be helping me, assisting me with grading and other things, and he or she would be introduced in the first week of class.